Hey, I'm Jordan. This is a roundup of games I played in July 2025. I played so many games this month. I went to kind of a mini con at a friend's house, played a bunch of games there. I played a bunch of games on like a work trip I was at, played a lot of games with friends this month. A lot of new games came in that I was really excited about. So I'm going to talk about 4 games. I enjoyed all of these games, and I probably could have do like another like 2 or 3 videos of just games I've played in July, but I'm not going to do that here. But make sure you're following me on Instagram and TikTok if you want to see more kind of real short form videos, kind of like what I do here, only all separated out. And I've actually already covered most of these over there, but there's more games that I cover over there than I do on here. So make sure you're following me on those areas, on those channels and stuff. All right. So let's get started. We'll do smallest to biggest. This one is from Devere. This is a card game. I think I covered another one of those card games last time from their little small box line. And I like this one probably the best of the 3, I think. And this is Moirai, I think I've decided it's pronounced. And it is a card game similar to like The Game or Ohanami. I really enjoy that style of game where you're kind of collecting cards, but you have to get them in the right order. And you want kind of cards that are near each other, but you don't want like giant gaps between them, but sometimes you have to put those gaps in. What this one does interesting is that there's going to be 3 different scoring objectives each game. And so every game is going to have a different kind of flavor. Whereas some of those games, it's just always longest rows, most cards, get to the highest number, those types, those kind of simple objectives. This one's going to have different kinds of scoring objectives based off of what these 3 I don't know what the theme is. It's like the 3 I don't know, witches or people who are spinning the life fabric of life or something like that. I don't know, something like that. But this one is very similar to those. You're just trying to collect and put these number cards in ascending order. But sometimes you want certain cards at the top. Maybe you want different colored cards along the top, or maybe you want to be able to reach 40 by the bottom, but maybe some of them you don't really want that many cards in each row, so you're going to jump you want more of these columns than you want longer columns or things like that. So all sorts of different rotating kind of objectives, and I really enjoy that kind of flavor that's in Moirai. Check it out. The next one, just to be clear, Moirai I did get as a review copy. Incidentally, I've received all 4 of these games as review copies, so I'll just get that out of the way here. But this next game is from Allplay. I do love Allplay. They publish just a lot of games that I like. It's how it is, whatever. Sometimes we have designers we really like, publishers we really like, and I think the people who decide what games get made at Allplay probably have pretty similar tastes than I do. So this is Oddland. Oddland is in their little square box line, and it came out with a 4-pack of games with Ruins, Money, and Vegas Strip, I think were the 4, and Oddland, of course, were the 4 in the list. And Oddland was one that I knew a little bit about, but it wasn't one that looked super exciting to me up front because it just kind of looked like a regular tile laying game. You're going to use these big square cards. They're going to have different tile pieces on them, and you're going to overlay them in different ways in order to score, is kind of what I thought it was. And I was like, I've played games like that before. This game's fantastic. I really, really enjoy this really tight tile laying package. It's a little mean. It's really kind of interactive in how tight the space is. So every turn you're going to place one of these cards down. It can overlap some things, and you have to put one of your tokens on there. Every single type of odd creature in this game is going to score differently, and it's going to score differently between game to game because there's a couple different scoring options for each one. And so you're going to have a group of these animals, but you have to place an animal every single turn. And so it's such a tight game where I think you only have like 6, 7, 8 turns in the entire game. And everything is so, it's almost like it's like a knife fight in a phone booth kind of feeling as you're putting these out, because I'm going to put this goat creature that wants to be near mountains, and then you're going to put one over that's going to cover up those mountains because I'm trying to grow a big mountain area, and you're going to cover it up with this water area where you want your alligator creature to be there. And that thing is now going to get covered over here, and then everybody's just trying to jockey for these large spaces. I like this one a lot. It might not be for everybody in how tight it is. I've said tight a bunch, but it really does fit in this for this game. But it really works for us, especially for 2 players. This one works remarkably well. Always looking for quick 2-player games, and I don't know. I think this one's really cool. Oddland, check it out from Allplay. This next one is from 25th Century Games. They released a couple games recently, and I've really enjoyed all of them recently, which isn't always the case. Like, I'm not going to say I love every game from every publisher, but 25th Century Games, I do enjoy a lot of their games. This is Wine Cellar. Wine Cellar is a auction game. If you've ever played the game For Sale, this feels similar to For Sale in its kind of foundation and underpinning DNA. You're going to have a bunch of wine in here. You're collecting wine at these auctions for a patron who has certain tastes and goals. And so maybe yours is looking for white wines and sparkling wines from Spain and the USA. Like, that's what their tastes are. And so you're trying to collect wines that are going to meet those tastes. And, Rachel across the table, she's trying to get red wines and white wines as well, but she wants them from Italy and France. And so you're looking, sometimes you want the same wines as other people, and sometimes you don't want the same wines as other people. And so the value of these wines, the relative value of these wines is going to be different based off of what those goals are around the table. You're kind of vying for that. You're going to have a bunch of wines out on the table. You have a hand of wines, and you're going to use those as the bidding cards. They all have a number value on them. You put them all face down. It's a simultaneous auction. You all flip yours over at the same time. Whoever placed the highest number gets their first dibs of the wine. And you're going to do that. And then all of the wines that were used to bid go to the center and become the wines that are available for auction in the next round. So you are constantly having some level of manipulation of what the auctions are going to look like in the future. And with that, the mix with that and the relative value changing amongst the wines around the table, I think this one's really cool. There's kind of a lot to wrap your head around with the different aspects of each of the wine cards, because they are multi-use cards. And the way scoring works, you're stacking these wines as you're collecting them, and it's going to score based off of their positioning in that wine rack. Lots to think about, but it boils down to such a simple game that I really enjoy. Wine Cellar. Check that one out. Really cool one. This last one is from Bitewing Games. I cover a lot of Bitewing Games because I also really enjoy Bitewing Games. It is what it is, right? And this is from their Outer Space line of games that I have played all 3 of them. I think they're all wonderful. This is the one I was most surprised about. I wasn't really expecting to like this one as much as I did because it's an area majority game, and that's not really my style of game. This is Silos, S-I-L-O-S. It's some sort of acronym. And this is a, what did I say? Area majority game where you're going to be aliens going around beaming people up into your spaceship, and you are trying to collect people and cows. Those are kind of the resources in this game that you're collecting. And as you're collecting sets of these people, and then cows are wild, you can turn those in for points. But as you're going around this town, every single building in the town is going to have some kind of special power associated with it. And your area majority aliens are going to be able to move from place to place. And then whenever they're activated, they're going to kind of launch different parts of the board, and you're going to collect these people and cows. And it's kind of a chaotic game. It's not a game that I think is going to lend itself to a lot of deep strategy. It feels more tactical to me in the way that I have played it. But I think there's some charm to the theming of it. It's kind of silly, but does really kind of work. You don't see a lot of games with this kind of energy behind it. And I think mechanically it's interesting, and it doesn't take itself too seriously, which I appreciate. So Silos, I don't know how much I like it compared to the other three. Orbit and Ego are also really great, but I think Silos definitely is sticking around in my collection, which I was not expecting up front, honestly. I wasn't sure how much I would like this one, and I like it a lot. So there you go. Those are 4 games that I enjoy. Granted, I did get them all as review copies, so if you don't trust me because of that, fine, whatever. Maybe next time you'll trust me more. I don't know. All right, there you go. I'm Jordan. Thanks.